Good afternoon. I have to say, I am so energized because while I know many people are joining us virtually, the fact that we actually are able to hold an in-person meeting and that we can experience each other's energy, to me, honestly, is incredible. So thank you all for making my day. And selfishly, you all have just reconfirmed why travel and tourism as an industry will not only be here and will not only survive, but will thrive. Because in as much as we have been and have gotten used to be on Zoom, I gotta tell you, there's nothing that replaces this in-person interaction. And so again, thank you so much, Greg, for organizing this. I truly applaud and admire your perseverance in doing this in times when most people say it's not worth it. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes today, if I may, on who I am, what I stand for, and also talk a little bit about how we as an organization dealt with this unimaginable situation of the COVID pandemic. For those of you that travel into Denver, you may travel to the airport and you may take the train into Union Station. Crawford is one of our properties, as is this beautiful property here, JW Cherry Creek. And I'm privileged to lead a team of what was, at one point in time, almost 6,200 associates across the nation. I'll tell a little bit more about why that is in past tense and not present. And this organization had one purpose, one mission, since day one when it was founded in 1984. And it is always about how can we enrich people's lives one experience at a time. And I'm going to share with you how we think about that and how I, frankly, think about that myself. But first and foremost, for those of you that are listening carefully, I have a little bit of an accent. I've been trying to work on it for the last 25 years. It still sticks with me. I was born and raised in Belgium in a multicultural family. My mom is Italian, my father is Spanish. And that really gave me the privilege not only to have incredible beer at an early age, because that's just what you do when you live in Belgium, but also truly understand and learn from so many different cultures around the world. And my father was in the hospitality industry, still remains active to this day. And as a result of him, we started to travel around the world, and I got to really learn the differences of people and cultures around the world. And I recognized that everybody can have a different perspective, and that's okay. In fact, it enriches you by understanding those perspectives. And across my entire career, I've had the great fortune of nurturing partnerships in over 70 countries, and I've taken that cultural assimilation with me in every single thing I've done so far. I always have thought that there's a couple of things that sort of ground you, and these values have sort of been with me for a while, and I thought I might share it with you all. First of all, I think for those of you that know me, I'm a relatively passionate guy, and I think that not only hopefully can you love what you do, but like our co-founder Walter says, love who you do it with. It makes such a big difference to be able to really enjoy life when you can do it with people that you care about. As I've heard from many of you, which by the way, again, the level of quality that is here in this room is nothing short of remarkable. But as I listen to all of you, what is very clear is that family is at the center of it all. And truly, family, and I consider also our team of associates around the nation family, will always come first. And by the way, there's no future, there's no present if there's no health. And so when people come to me and say, I need to take some time off, I'll always tell them, no matter what, health and family will always come first. I also believe in partnership. There's such an opportunity to listen to many different places in your organization, even with your family, your extended family, because unexpected ideas and innovation will come from unexpected places. Unexpected innovation will come from those that you don't expect that will take you to the next level. I was fortunate in my past to work with people that had innovated things that today we take for granted. A 84-year-old lady in Guatemala who I met was the creator of the McDonald's Happy Meal, because she realized that when the families would come into her McDonald's in Guatemala, they were bored. And so she created the first Happy Meal, and that became a bit, I think, of a sensation. So the reality is that's something that is really remarkable for me. And last but not least, we'll talk a little bit about this more, but leading with humility, I think is so key, and still every day I remind myself how important that is. That sort of leads me to a purpose. For many years, my purpose in a career was to basically just get promoted and get to the top job. And over the last couple of years, it became clear that it was much more important to think about, well, what's my why? Why are we here as people? And so for me, what I realized after doing some work is that ultimately I'm here to serve others. And hopefully I can do that in a way that inspires others to effectively create a ripple effect. And as a result, jointly, we can hopefully have a lasting and positive impact on others. And so to that effect, I've always thought that volunteering is something that is very worthwhile doing. And again, I've been fortunate to volunteer in my life. And about 2 years ago, I was invited through one of the organizations that I'm a member of, Young Presidents Organization, to go and volunteer at a prison facility in LA, Los Angeles. And I thought it was a cool idea, and I thought it would align with my purpose. We get in the bus, it's about 20 of us, and the gentleman who's the CEO of this nonprofit organization called Defy basically welcomes all of us and says, thank you so much for volunteering. We're headed to a top security prison, and you're going to be spending the afternoon with violent offenders. Some of those folks may never get out of prison, and some of those folks have been in isolation confinement for 11 years. But we help them to basically have hope, and when they come out, if they come out, they can basically try to rebuild their lives. And so Defy creates this entrepreneurial program that during 6 months through volunteers, these entrepreneurs in training get an opportunity to rehabilitate and get ready and get prepared. And so clearly, as we were all taking this bus, we were all sort of completely silent. We had no idea how to feel, what to think, what to expect. I don't know how many of you have been to a maximum security, but I had never been before. And so we walk in, and we're greeted with about 40 entrepreneurs in training, or EITs. And when I met on my right Edwin, and on the middle of this picture Victor and Uriel on the side, on the left of the picture, the first impression was, I hope I'm not going to get killed. Because I was clueless. I had no idea what to expect. I thought I was going to volunteer and sit down, and the reality of this experience is that as we provided some insights into their resume. Imagine putting a resume together when you've been incarcerated for 20 plus years or so, and you've made a mistake. And frankly, all of us make mistakes. They just have different levels of gradation. Imagine preparing for a pitch of your business, and you've never had a business before. The reality, ladies and gentlemen, the reality is that they showed me their purpose, and they impacted my life. They taught me what it was to be humble. To suddenly go from a moment where you feel like a number, as they did, to feeling like a human and having an opportunity to actually go out there. Keep in mind, this program, where the recidivism rate is 75% or higher across the nation, for this program, it's under 5%. Each and every single one of these people said, I'm here and I want to grow, and can you please help me? So they taught me more than I could ever imagine. And so I wanted to share that with you because it's so stuck with me. That then sort of leads into how I think about leadership, and it was mentioned before, these hierarchical structures of the pyramids where you have the leader on top and everybody else basically listens to the leader. How 1920s or 1950s is that? I mean, that's just not realistic. So the thought is, and I've seen it embodied by every single one of you here, is that ultimately we serve all of our team members, and we lead so that they can basically do what they need to do in order to succeed. That's why we're here. And I thought this was a great representation of, frankly, hopefully, what more and more people can experience today. On February 10th of last year, 2020, all of our general managers of our 55 or so hotels and 25 restaurants got together in what we call Sage Leadership Festival. Every year we come together, we volunteer together, we share best practices, and we recognize all of our team members. And we were on stage. These are our laureates, all of the awardees of our group. Everybody is dressed up. This was at our beautiful property in the Blackstone in Chicago. And I had just joined the company a couple of weeks before, and I'd spent basically 48 hours with these beautiful people. And I in the evening, as I was presenting one of the awards, I just literally said, there's just one thing that is on my mind, which is, where have you been all my life? And I meant it, and I felt it, and I still, when I share this with all of you, I still get, as we call it in Belgium, chicken skin, but I think here it's called goosebumps. It's interesting how in different cultures things sort of translate. Some translate better than others, by the way. Anyway, so that was February 10th. We were on top of the world. We were going to crush the budget. And everybody thought that it was going to be a layup. That was February 10th. And then you may all recognize some of these signs that all of us were faced starting in March. At the end of March, February 28th, at 4 o'clock actually, we sent a communication out advising all of our team members around the nation that we should be very cautious because we heard about this coronavirus, COVID-19 thing. We had actually no idea what was going to happen. Within 2 weeks, we convened our leaders and made the tough decision to furlough 91% of our team, 5,700 associates in one day. And there was nothing we could do about it. And it was nobody's fault. And so that's where we sort of found ourselves in that situation. And so this is a great picture because obviously there's so many heroes out there, unsung heroes that have been helping out. But for me, our general managers, our teams are my heroes because how they were able to not just continue on. We suddenly went from 55 open hotels and running 70-80% occupancy to basically shutting down hotels. Almost 45 of our hotels closed from one day to the other. We had to suspend operations. They were there. We created a relief fund. We basically got our $200,000 to find a way to help our furloughed associates. Our co-founder Walter, basically sent a note, an inspirational note, every single day for 90 days that was then disseminated across families and friends just to keep the spirit lifted. Communication, we were communicating on a weekly basis with every single one of our associates so they wouldn't feel alone, because the pressure that our people felt, I don't have a job, what's happening with the industry, where am I going, are we going to be okay? So we felt it was important to make sure that they felt part of the family. And as we then translate that into 21 and beyond, these were our priorities in 2020 that I shared on the stage when we were all together in February, on February 10th. And we're now evolving this, but the reality is many of these cornerstones apply to us, and perhaps some of them apply to you, which is ultimately as leaders, let's make a difference and lead with passion. And there's many ways to do that at different levels. How can we disrupt with purpose? A lot of ideas today were really thoughtful about, and Anson, I am definitely, where's Anson? I'm going to be thinking about, before I go to the restroom, there is not a phone that is going to be in my vicinity, so thank you. That's very important. And last but not least, the servant leadership, as many of you touched on today. It's about putting relations first across our stakeholders. And then the last piece here is, the last component was that we ultimately decided it was important to bring a couple of pillars together for our associates to help them, to keep them stimulated and support them from a health and wellness perspective. Give people more time, give people flexibility, help them be empathetic, understand that everybody is on their own journey, those that are still employed and those that are furloughed. Everybody has a burden. How do you help them? First, listen. And listen carefully because you care. Show that you care. Engage minds. At the same time, we're so proud to be participating in this conference, and hopefully many, many more in the future, because all of our associates have been invited to the conference so they can continue to learn about all of these great best practices that you're sharing as amazing leaders here present today. And encouraging success, how can we continue to celebrate successes, both small and large? Because ultimately we know that means so much when you acknowledge people for the little things that they do. So with that, I'll leave you with an incredible quote from one of certainly my heroes, which is Nelson Mandela. And I think if you think about how long it would take in the past to get a vaccine versus where we are today and where we're headed, I think this quote really says it all. And I think the energy, the passion, the courage, the perseverance, the enthusiasm, the attitude is here in the room and out there to make things happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Wonderfully said, and you're an inspiration to one of the more important industries in the entire country, and it starts and ends with being hospitable. When you and I spoke, you could feel your passion for what it was you were saying to me, and that was, we need to be more compassionate. And I would say one of the themes of the entire day is spend time listening, be more curious, and value everyone in your life. And from you to all of the associates of Sage and certainly the other companies that are watching, take a moment. Be curious. Listen to your employees, your followers, your children, your friends, your partners, and listen. With that, I would say thank you to everybody. I have one question for you. What is your shift? What will you do with all this powerful content that's been delivered right to your head, your heart, and your soul? What are you going to do differently to make a difference? For all of you that are listening, please take some notes, share it with those people that you love and admire, those that weren't here. It's going to be available on Aden Leadership YouTube. You'll subscribe and have access to it. And to you, Daniel, I cannot wait to be back here 12 months from now, and we're going to do it all over again, and there's going to be a lot more people in person. I have a feeling that we're going to be able to have a really cool social experience and send it out to 200,000 people around the country. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bigger next year. So thank you again.
I agree.
All righty.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Daniel.
Thanks, everyone.
Good day, good night, good bless. Thank you very much.